And welcome back. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, a time to break the silence, challenge the stigma, and acknowledge that mental health struggles are more common than many people realize. Teens and young adults are particularly affected by these issues. VNS Health's Safe Pathways program provides hope for supporting youth, educating communities, and working to prevent suicide. And joining me now to share more and talk about this is VNS Health's peer specialist, Darien Williams. And then we've also got program coordinator, Melinda Wong. And thank you both for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Melinda, I'll start with you first. I mean, a very pressing issue, as we said. A lot of people aren't having the conversation, but are having the conversation when it comes to suicide. Talk to us a little bit about how prevalent we're seeing this in our community.
I think it's pretty prevalent, and actually I think there's a lot more affecting youth than people are aware of. According to the CDC, they did research on youth from the ages from 2000 to 2021, and what they discovered was that youth and young adults, especially from the ages of 10 to 24, actually counts for 15% of all suicide rates. And there's a lot affecting the youth, including simply experiencing life and growing up in the pandemic. You know, I think a big part of the adolescent and youth includes being able to make a lot of social connections, and when that's severely impacted, that increases, you know, feelings of isolations, which is also something that impacts as well. There's also, you know, a lot of pressure that's experienced from society. There's also a lot of risk factors, including if someone has had mental health issues but has not been able to access resources as well. So impacting.
Darien, for yourself, obviously, as a peer specialist, you have the opportunity of working on the front lines and talking to, you know, many of these youth who come before you. Many times, adults and just everyday people miss warning signs, right? Just not knowing what it is that we should be looking for. What should we be looking for?
To be honest, it's sometimes hard to read, because sometimes symptoms overlap each other. So you might see something in a person and you might say, hey, this is one thing, but this person could be having a whole nother episode somewhere else. So that's when you go in deeper, start asking questions like, hey, how are you feeling today? What happened last night that made you feel like this? What happened this morning that made you feel like this? What happened on the way to work that made you feel like this? You gotta break it down to really, because sometimes a lot of people don't even give them a chance to ask questions. So, somebody's asking me a question, they care, they open it up more. So it's like sometimes, if you don't want to misread somebody, you really have to dig down, sit down. Hey, how you feel? What's going on? What happened last night that made you feel like this? So you really got to have some real dialogue to understand the concrete solution on why a person's like that.
In your capacity as a peer specialist, is this a part of what you do?
Yes, very important. Coming from background trauma, overcoming trauma, I can pass that down to the next generation. Or people in my generation, hey, I've been through it. You're not alone. You're not by yourself. And we're here to advocate for you. Because a lot of times, like Melinda said, people feel like they're isolated. They feel like they're by themselves. Why am I coming here? Nobody's going to even listen to me. No, I've been through what you've been through. We can sit down and break bread together.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have a Safe Pathways prevention program, and that's aimed at really doing the work of raising awareness and dealing with those in the area of suicide prevention. For somebody who's a part of this program, what do they experience?
They get a lot of support in different ways. For the youth that come in, we can provide weekly sessions where they can better understand their thoughts and behaviors as it relates to suicidal ideation, and ultimately work towards learning coping skills, especially when they're in a crisis. We also provide support to families because we understand that the support needs to be to their support system as well. We also provide workshops to youth, to parents, and to providers, and also provide free digital resources to anybody that can scan a QR code.
Yeah, you mentioned digital. I gotta go back to Darien on this one here because, you know, there's so many things that people have to contend with these days. This generation is the first, you know, digitally native generation, right? That they're indoctrinated in the social media, which puts them on path for possibly bullying and things like that. What are you seeing and what are you hearing? Because the emergence of social media and this whole, you know, digital space has created a whole new way that a person has to really be able to deal with themselves.
Yeah, social media opened up a whole nother Pandora's box that I don't think society was ready for, because it creates an illusion, and people are chasing an illusion. It's like you're saying, social media, the young generation, they're seeing people post 1,000 likes, 100 likes. Oh man, I want to be just like them, not knowing once they close that app where they're going, not knowing what's going to happen after they shut down that app. So it's like we're chasing things, and they're chasing things, which creates some type of like an illusion. It causes depression. Man, what's wrong with my life? Now you second guessing your life off of somebody you don't know.
Right.
You're following on social media, and you're thinking that they're living their life. So you're trying to chase something that you don't even know if it's real, because you don't know this person in real life. So it's like social media creates this thing with the teens. They're trying to chase after the likes, trying to chase after the comments, and get validation from people they don't even know.
Right.
So that's where we gotta say, hold on, no, look, care about yourself first, so that way you don't gotta seek outside validation. So it's about self-love and not create that and things like that.
Yeah. Talk about identity groups. I know, the LGBTQ community, BIPOC, these are places where, spaces are created and needed. And there are some programs that really deal with this.
Yeah, so our program was based off of a lot of research, a need that identified that there is a higher risk of suicide, especially for the LGBTQIA+ and BIPOC community, because of a lot of discrimination, difficulty accessing resources, and a lot of stigma that's felt in a lot of these communities as well.
Early intervention, how powerful is it?
It's super powerful. I think, even if you're not sure what someone is experiencing, I think one of the things we hear a lot is, well, I don't know how to begin this conversation. I think simply by just giving and providing resources, such as the digital resources that we offer in our partnership with Sharpen Minds, can be really powerful to begin and help someone begin to learn to understand what they're feeling and access resources.
Yeah. Somebody might say, Darren, that's a dumb question. Early intervention, how powerful is it? But there's so many people that really don't understand that. Just to be able to have a conversation, or just as you said, ask those key questions, can really make a difference in the lives of some of the of young people as well as adults these days. For yourself, obviously, who's really close to this, what makes that difference in the life of a person that could possibly make that transition? We talk about what early intervention is, but as that early intervention is taking place, what is really that difference maker that makes somebody say, you know what? Pause. I'm not going to do this.
Make sure somebody cares about you. That's make sure to care. That's the gateway to opening up, being vulnerable. Hey, somebody actually cares. Early intervention is very crucial because it's an introduction to somebody saying they care about me. This is where we start from. This is early intervention. We're going to figure out why you're like this. We're not going to judge you. Now we're going to figure out how can you overcome this. Because a lot of people are scared. Oh, you're going to judge me. Oh, why are you here? You tripping off? No, we're not judging you. We're gonna find out what's going on in early intervention on one of those traumas and try to debunk that energy of resistance.
How does a person access safe pathways?
So there's a bunch of different ways. I think simply they can go on vnshealth.org to see what other programs we have as well, to kind of understand better the full list of services that we provide. And if not, they can also call our office phone directly, which is 718-840-4988.
And there's also resources available. I know we talked about the digital space. You got an app too?
Yes, so many apps. We actually have 4 apps currently. We have apps for youth. We have apps for parents. We have apps for providers. And we also have an app if people want to make a digital version of a safety plan. And the great thing about these is you can print them out, place them in common areas, and you can scroll and access so many of these things at the comfort of wherever you are. So it really is information at your fingertips.
Parents out there who may feel helpless, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to do the best I can to raise my child, but however, I recognize that my child has certain issues. So if I'm a parent out there that's watching, what resources do I tap into?
I think if there's a parent of one of our enrolled clients, we provide a lot of support. We can provide family counseling with client consent. We also provide a lot of workshops. We actually have a workshop coming up, the same one, but it's offered 2 different dates in June 4th and June 18th. That will be a virtual workshop offered in Spanish to help parents kind of understand the stigma of receiving mental health and also understand better, how that impacts their youth who might be receiving services as well. And more info, I think, will probably be passed on. And also, as mentioned earlier, we have the app for parents that gives them access to resources, to videos, and even scripts and sample conversations that they can use to talk to their youth about difficult topics like accessing therapy.
Those scripts are so important, I think, that, when you just don't know what to say, having the words in front of you to really think about how to say it can be the difference maker. It's got to be a great joy for you being able to step in, right, and enter into somebody's space and be able to provide a safe space for them.
Yes, that's so true. And I want to elaborate on the parenting. A lot of parents beat themselves up. Why is my child like this? What did I do wrong? Sometimes it's not the parenting, it's the child operating their free will. As a teenager, they want to test the waters. Let's see. I understand mommy and dad told me not to do this, but let me.
Right.
So sometimes parents beat themselves up. Why is my child acting like this? What did I do wrong? What did I miss? You didn't miss nothing. It's just your child's at that stage where they're testing the waters. It has nothing to do with your parenting, but parents don't know that because the child's not coming to them saying this.
Yeah.
They're not going to say that. So the parent is like, okay, what's wrong? Now the parent is beating themselves up. Now they're like you're saying, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? No. We're here to advocate for the parents as well. No.
Right.
This is normal. Every teenager goes through this. Every child goes through this. Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah.
Sometimes you're doing the best job, and things happen even when you do the best, right?
Yeah.
All right. Darren, Melinda, it's been a great conversation, and hopefully we can get people pointed to some resources, some families, but it's been great having you sit right next to me.
Thank you for having
Thank you
us.
so much.
All righty. For more information, visit the website at vnshealth.org, and don't forget to have that conversation. We also encourage you, don't go anywhere. We'll be back more open coming up right after this.